I'm Jack Cullen, Superintendent of Mason County Schools. I'm here to give you some information on an item that's going to be on the primary ballot in May 8th, and that's the excess levy for Mason County Board of Education. There's a lot of information out there. Some of it is correct, some of it is not. The main purpose of this video is just to give you some brief information about what the levy is for, what it funds, and how it helps our students. One of the first key points is the fact that a vote for this ballot and this excess levy will not increase your taxes. This is a continuation of a levy that was passed in November of 2014, and it will continue that levy. One thing I can say about Mason County and Mason County residents that have supported education, we have one of the longest running excess levies in the state of West Virginia. The first levy was passed May 24th in 1950. So this thing's been running for 68 years. We'd like to see it to continue. The excess levy accounts for about 18% of our operating budget for Mason County Board of Education. Now, some of the things that it provides, the services it provides, the first thing is professional service salary supplements. Currently, with the state aid formula, Mason County Schools is over approximately 51 employees. And what these 51 employees do, they actually provide extra services for our students. And a good example of this, on the professional side, we're over 10 professionals based upon the funding from the state of West Virginia. I can tell you exactly where 5 are right this moment. School nurses. Currently, we employ 5 registered school nurses. State aid formula was frozen in 2013. I'm not sure why, based upon funding, the funding formula for nurses from 2008. And back then in 2008, you were allowed one school nurse or funded one school nurse for every 1,500 students, kindergarten through 7th grade. And remember, back in 2008, there was very few preschool students. We run approximately 300 preschool students in Mason County Schools. It did not include 8th grade through 12th grade. So that correlates to about 1.7 school nurses that we're actually funded for from the state of West Virginia. So we're 3 over in school nurses, and that would definitely hurt our students if we didn't have those services. Plus, we also have 3 LPNs hired, and that would also be a decrease if we'd had to cut some of these positions. We also have 12 and a half school counselors, state aid formula funds 10 and a half. So you can see we're 3 over in professional with nurses, 2 over in school counselors, so we're a total of 10 over, and there's 5 of them right there. We're also over 41 service personnel, and a lot of these are aides. And our school aides serve a very vital importance to our students. They provide the extra services that classes will need with students that need a little extra help. So one of the things that this supports is those professional service salary supplements. Another big section that's supported by our excess levy is our textbook, supplies, and equipment. 2 years ago, when we adopted English Language Arts textbooks for our 4,164 students, the cost was somewhere near $900,000. And so the excess levy is what pays for a portion for those textbooks. This year we have the math adoption, and those textbooks will probably be $500,000, a little bit more. It also provides paper, pencil, that type of thing for our classrooms. The excess levy also funds extra and co-curricular activities. As it stands right now, we have a lot of sports in all 3 of our high schools. If we did not have the excess levy, we'll really have to pick and choose about what sports we can offer. We would have to look at Title IX and make sure we have an equal number of boys and girls sports offered, both in the fall, the winter, and the spring. So if we had 2 boys sports in the fall, we'd have to have 2 girls sports in the fall. We couldn't fund all of them. Plus, it also provides bus trips for extracurricular and co-curricular activities. And a decrease in funds would limit about where schools could go and how much funds they would have to make those kind of trips. The excess levy also maintains and operates our school facilities. We have approximately $2.7 million that goes into this section of the excess levy. The excess levy will generate projected about $7.5 million. And so a portion of this, a good portion of this, goes to maintaining and operating our school facilities. All of our schools are getting up in age. We have several of our high schools that were renovated back about 10 years ago. We have the primary and intermediate back in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002. Ashton goes back to about 1990. You have Bill and Roosevelt, 1984. So you can look at that, and then Leon Elementary goes back to 1951. So we have to maintain roofs, have to maintain HVAC systems, windows, floors, the whole 9 yards, and it goes to help maintain those facilities. One other thing that I've been able to do with a little bit of this money is put it toward grants for the school building authority. And with that, we've been able to purchase 3 wastewater treatment plants, one for Roosevelt, one for Beale, one for Ashton. We've replaced roofs on Ashton, Roosevelt, and Wahama. We're currently looking at an HVAC project. We've replaced 16 PTAC units, wall units at Leon. We're going to replace 29 units at the primary school. We're going to replace 7 units at New Haven and 5 at Hannon. So we've been able to use some of this funds and levy with the school building authority and end up getting a $1 million project, and maybe we only have to put in 10 to 20% of the funds for this. So we've drawn in about a good $8 million over the last 3-4 years and to help upgrade our schools. And this is one place we can take some funding to help entice with the school building authority that we can put a share toward it, and we get a lot back from it. Technology, we're looking at about $150,000 in technology. We have gone to one-on-one devices. We're currently 4 through 10 with the Chrome notebooks. Next year we'll expand that down to the 3rd grade, and we have the Samsung tablets for the kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade. So we've been expanding the one-on-one devices out to our students. And another thing that this helps pick up is a salary for a couple of our technology techs, where we have the people in the county where we don't have to contract outside of our school system that can fix some of our equipment and do some of the work with it. And the last item on here is student transportation. It helps pay for fuel, and it helps pay for buses and vehicle maintenance and replacement. Currently, the state of West Virginia will give us bus replacement funds, but it's never enough to equal a full bus. Maybe it's 2.7 buses we can buy, so we have to put in the money to purchase the rest of the 1/3 of a bus or 1/4 of a bus, or whatever, and the funding comes out of it. We also contributed some funds to county agencies. To the Sheriff's Department, we contract for 3 PROs. It's our resource officers. We have one at Hannon, one at Point Pleasant, and one at Wahama. And this is our first line of defense. I appreciate being able to do that, and to have those officers out there. Without the excess levy, we would not be able to do that. We also put money toward the Mason County Library. They still are a vital part of our community. In the summertime, they have activities for students, and they also feed our students. So we appreciate what the library does for our students. W Extension Services, the students in 4-H, they're our students. So we're there, we help our students where we can, when we can, and there is a small amount that goes to the Extension Service. And the Mason County Fair is the last item on here. Again, that's our students. Mason County still has one of the largest fairs in the state of West Virginia. So that pretty much tells you what our excess levy is about, what it's for. It is a vote for students. I've had some people ask me, well, why are we putting it on the ballot today? Why are we putting it on in May? And the reason why is, if we would run this separate, not with a primary or general election, it would cost in the neighborhood of $50,000 to put a separate election just for the excess levy. So by running it with the primary election, it saves funding. So that pretty much tells you what the levy is about. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can call me at my office. I have no problem talking to anyone in any group whatsoever. Again, a vote for the levy is a vote for our students. Thank you very much.